Well, it just gets stranger and stranger. I have never heard of what you're about to hear about in all my life. I'm going to take you now up to Oregon, Medford, Oregon, where our engineer, network engineer, Tony Howell, is on the line. Tony, are you there?
Yes, Ed, I'm here.
Okay. Tony, you just got off the telephone with General Electric in New Jersey, I guess, correct?
Correct, GE Americom.
GE Americom in New Jersey. When I went off the air, what happened?
Well, the story goes that the satellite that you transmit on, GE1, seems to have lost its Earth sensor lock.
Its Earth sensor lock.
Correct, meaning that it lost its orientation in the sky just slightly and started a kind of a shift. So many of the frequencies, KU and C, actually started to phase out, and that's what happened to your frequency.
So in other words, it would not just have been me. It would have been everybody on the satellite I'm using, which would have been quite a considerable number of broadcast facilities, wouldn't it?
Well, even wilder than that. It was 50 channels.
50 channels?
50 channels on GE1, not including our channel, which is the network's KU channel, which, as everybody knows, we stayed on the air just fine. You're the one that went down.
Yeah, I went down. That's right. Well, then how could you... No, wait a minute. Well, you use the same GE1 to get it back to New Jersey, right?
Exactly. That's what's just amazing.
If it lost Earth lock, it should have lost, which means the satellite lost orientation momentarily.
Right.
Then it should have lost it for everything.
Well, strangely enough, many channels did stay on the air, including our channel, except your channel, and 50 others.
And 50.
So it just depended who you were and where you were.
Too weird, Tony.
Really weird.
And if that's not weird, as you know, I monitored my transmitter here, and I watched all the sync locks, and they were gone, like this transmitter was gone.
Yeah, you just weren't touching anything in the sky. I mean, you were totally missing your
satellite
bird, yeah.
Oh, so, Tony.
I know it took them about a half an hour to get it back together. They had everybody scrambling around GE, trying to get it orientated properly.
Well, I sure would like to understand how you can lose 50 channels out of a total of how many, do you think?
I would say there's probably at least 200 up there, at least.
So then a quarter of the channels were lost because it lost its look at Earth. You know what? I almost don't believe that. I mean, I guess I've got to accept the explanation.
Well, you know yourself that with all the weather changes going on, things are just terribly weird around here.
Weird is the word for it.
If for some reason it was supposed to be looking and getting its power solarly from the sun and looking at it in a specific spot and not finding it there, it could have lost its sync.
Oh, so maybe just one of the panels supplying, say, a quarter of the spacecraft lost it.
Yeah. Of course, GE, it's still early in the game. GE's not quite certain, but that's how it's looking.
Well, Tony, it's the damnedest thing I've ever seen in my whole life.
Yeah, you got me.
All right, well, I do have you, and I'm glad to have you, and I'm sure glad you gave us all that information. And now I'm more curious than ever.
Well, just so you know, GE is supposed to publish a public report on what happened. So you will get some kind of information out of it.
I wonder if we'll get the real thing.
It'll be interesting to see.
It was did you hear you probably didn't hear the moment that it failed.
I actually did, and I have just re-listened to it, and you can hear it slightly lose lock when the caller was talking at the end of his conversation. All
right. Tony, bless your heart, I thank you for coming on the air and telling us about this. I still don't fully understand nor believe. Yeah, I guess we'll see the written report. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you, Art.
That's Tony Howell at our network in Oregon. So, my transmitter didn't blow up, even though it acted like it blew up because it lost everything. My transmitter lost everything. And the network, using the same satellite to transfer it to New Jersey, did not lose it. But it wasn't because of anything that happened here. It was because the satellite itself, they say, lost Earth, the link to Earth, didn't know where Earth was anymore, or at least a portion of it, and took about a quarter of the totality of the channels, 250, off the air. Now, is that weird or what? All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my little commercial set here, and then I want the folks at the network to back it up at least 2 minutes or more before failure, and I want to replay that, and I want to hear it myself. So I'm going to be listening to it down here. So if the network would please prepare to do that. On my Area 51 line, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello, Art.
Yes.
Hi. I don't have a whole lot of time.
Well, look, let's begin by finding out whether you're using this line properly or not.
Area 51.
Yeah, that's right. Were you an employee or are you now?
A former employee.
Former employee.
I was let go on a medical discharge about a week ago, and I've kind of been running across the country. Oh man, I don't know where to start. They're gonna they'll triangulate on this position really soon.
So you can't spend a lot of time on the phone. So give us something quick.
Okay. Okay. What we're thinking of as aliens are they're extra dimensional beings that an earlier precursor of the space program made contact with. They are not what they claim to be. They have infiltrated a lot of aspects of the military establishment, particularly the Area 51. The disasters that are coming, the military, the government knows about them, and there's a lot of safe areas in this world that they could begin moving the population to now, Art.
But they're not doing anything.
They are not. They want the major population centers wiped out so that the few that are left will be more easily controllable.
That was it. That's where it cut off. Wow. All right, now I've heard it. I thank you, folks. I was unable to hear that myself until just now. Whew. Weird stuff. In all my life, I went in the other room, and I looked at the uplink transmitter, and it was like it was dead as a doornail. Everything was there was no sync light, there was no anything. Every indicator on the transmitter said it was dead as a doornail. And in fact, it was not dead. The satellite in space that it was looking at was dead. Or only, to be more specific, one portion of that satellite in space was dead. I don't know. This is one for the record books. On my Area 51 line, you're on the air. Hello.
Yes, I'd like to follow up with the Area 51 contributions being given.
Yes, please. Are you an employee or were you?
Actually, in a separate field but related. Within the Nevada state, we have several air traffic dispatches that handle a lot of, the bank's work when they fly in case of a national disaster.